People learn how to treat you based on what you allow. Every time you stay silent when someone disrespects you, every time you ignore that gut feeling because you don't want to cause drama, every time you put yourself last just to keep the peace, you're not just tolerating it, you're teaching it. You're teaching them that it's okay to cross your boundaries, that your needs can be ignored, that your time, energy, and peace are up for grabs. You see, what you tolerate, you teach. That means if you keep making excuses for people who constantly let you down, if you let people dump their problems on you without ever checking in on yours, or if you let your own dreams take a back seat so someone else can drive, you're setting a standard. You're telling the world, this is fine. But guess what? You can raise the standard. You can unteach what you've taught. You can draw the line and say, no more. And no, it doesn't have to come from anger or hate. This isn't about revenge. It's about respect for yourself. Because the way you allow people to treat you is a reflection of how much you value yourself. And when you start valuing yourself more, everything changes. The people who truly care about you will rise to meet you. And the people who don't will fall away. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to stay. But here's the shift. It starts with you, your boundaries, your voice, and your decisions. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. So if you constantly put yourself last, others will too. If you brush off your own feelings, others will too. If you never say no, people will keep asking for more because you've shown them that your yes comes cheap. But when you begin to say, this is what I need, when you say, that's not okay with me, and when you say, I matter too, you shift your energy. And sure, some people won't like the new version of you, and that's fine. You're not here to make everybody comfortable. You're here to honor your worth. You're allowed to have standards. You're allowed to walk away from what doesn't feel right, and you're allowed to protect your peace without explaining yourself to everyone. It's not selfish, it's survival. It's self-respect, it's leadership. Because every time you stand up for yourself, kindly, clearly, and confidently, you're not just teaching others how to treat you, you're showing others how to treat themselves. You become the example, the one who doesn't settle, the one who holds the line, the one who walks in truth even if it's uncomfortable. So if something in your life feels off, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or if your heart is tired from always giving and never receiving, just ask yourself, what am I tolerating? Then decide, what am I willing to teach moving forward? You have the power to change the story. You have the right to raise your standards, and you have the strength to reset the tone. And it begins the moment you stop tolerating what doesn't serve you. What you tolerate, you teach. So teach wisely, live boldly, and never forget your worth. At some point, we all ask ourselves, will anything I do actually matter? The truth is, you are leaving a mark on this world, whether you realize it or not. Every action, every word, every choice, it's all creating ripples. The question isn't if you'll leave a mark, but what kind of mark you'll leave. Most people don't think about this because they're stuck in survival mode. They wake up, go through the motions, and do what's expected. But existing is not the same as living. If you want to make an impact, you have to be intentional about it. You have to decide that you're going to leave this world better than you found it. So how do you do that? How do you make sure that when your time is up, something remains? Here's some options to think about. Number one, create something that outlives you. The most obvious way to leave a mark is to create something permanent. Write the book, start the business, build the thing you've been thinking about for years. Whether it's an invention, a piece of art, or a groundbreaking idea, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you put something into the world that wasn't there before. Second is teach and share what you know. Because knowledge disappears if it isn't passed down. If you've learned something valuable about business, relationships, about life, share it. Mentor someone, give advice, teach a skill. You never know whose life you might change just by showing them a different way. A third option is to show up for others. Leaving a mark isn't always about what you build, it's about how you make people feel. Be the person who encourages others, who listens, who supports. People don't forget kindness. They don't forget the person who made them believe in themselves when no one else did. A fourth option is to lead by example. Maybe your impact isn't in words, but in actions. Maybe it's showing others what's possible through the way you live your life. Breaking a family cycle, choosing to be healthy, pursuing your passion. Others are watching, even if you don't realize it. And number 5 is dare to be different. The world doesn't need more people following the same script. It needs people willing to take risks, to speak up, to challenge the status quo. If you believe in something, stand for it. If you see a problem, fix it. If you have a vision, chase it. Most people play it safe, but the ones who leave a mark, they're the ones who refuse to blend in. At the end of the day, leaving a mark isn't about being famous. It's not about being remembered by millions. It's about making a difference in the places you can, in the lives of the people around you. It's about knowing that because you were here, something changed. So don't wait. Don't talk yourself out of it. Start today. Do the work. Make an impact and leave your mark. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're choosing your pain. It sounds strange, doesn't it, to think that pain is unavoidable. But that's the deal. You either carry the pain of discipline or you suffer the pain of regret. And the truth is, one of them weighs ounces while the other will crush you. Let me show you what I mean. Picture someone waking up before dawn, lacing up the running shoes and hitting the pavement while the rest of the world sleeps. The alarm clock blares at 5 a.m. and believe me, it's tempting to stay under the covers. But they get up day after day. Why? Because they know discipline is tough, sure, but it's temporary. Sore legs, early mornings, skip parties, all those are small prices to pay for health, confidence, and longevity. Now picture the opposite. Someone who kept saying, "I'll start tomorrow," until years slip by and the doctors deliver the bad news. The stairs become a challenge. Energy disappears. That's the pain of regret. And unlike discipline, regret doesn't go away after a good night's sleep. It lingers. It rewinds the clock in your mind and forces you to replay all the moments you should have chosen better. One is pain now, the other is pain forever. And this goes far beyond fitness. Think about relationships. The pain of discipline looks like showing up, having the hard conversations, being vulnerable, making the effort to call, to listen, to care even when you're tired. Yes, that takes work. It takes discomfort. But the alternative? Well, it's waking up one day realizing you've let the best people in your life slip away because you were too busy, too distracted, too unwilling to invest the time. Regret stings and it sticks. Or what about your dreams? How many people sit in traffic on the way to a job they can't stand thinking, I should have tried, but they didn't. They let fear win. The discipline to chase a dream meant late nights, early mornings, rejection, and failure. It sounded like too much, so they stayed comfortable. And now, they feel trapped in a life that doesn't fit. That's regret. But here's the good news. Discipline pays you back. It might demand something up front, a sacrifice of time, comfort, ego. But what you get in return is freedom, pride, results that last. It's like planting seeds. You don't see much at first. It feels slow, but you keep watering, and one day you're standing in the middle of a life you actually want, built by your own hands. Discipline is sharp, but short. Regret is dull, but endless. So which pain are you choosing today? Because make no mistake, choosing neither isn't an option. If you refuse the small daily discomfort of discipline, you're signing up for the heavier, lasting weight of regret. It's the law of effort. There's no shortcut, no cheat code. You get what you work for and you pay the price, one way or the other. So decide. Wake up a little earlier. Push yourself a little harder. Make the call. Take the leap. Apologize. Start the book. Sign up for the class. Say no to the easy way out. Choose discipline now. And years from today, you'll look back, not with regret, but with pride. Pride that you did the hard things. Pride that you stuck with it. And pride that you didn't let discomfort steal your future. Because that's the real win. Not just living, but living without regret. Unfortunately, most times there are no warnings before your world as you know it begins to shatter. One moment everything seems intact, and the next, the pieces are scattered at your feet. It's heartbreak, failure, loss. They come out of nowhere, leaving us fractured, unsure if we'll ever feel whole again. But your brokenness isn't the end of your story. What if I told you that these moments can become your greatest masterpiece? There's an ancient art in Japan called kintsugi. Kintsugi, which means golden joinery, is an art form that repairs broken pottery by filling the cracks with a lacquer mixed with powdered gold. So instead of hiding the flaws, it celebrates them. The breaks become part of the story, transformed into something more beautiful than before. This philosophy teaches us a powerful truth. We are not meant to be discarded when life breaks us. We are meant to be rebuilt, stronger and more valuable than ever. Think about the hardships you faced, the disappointments, the betrayals, the moments where you questioned your worth. Now, it's easy to believe that these cracks make you less, that they diminish your value. But kintsugi tells us something different. It tells us that our scars don't make us weak. They make us unique. They don't take away from our beauty, they add to it. They are proof that we've survived, and that we've endured, and that we're still standing. The world often tells us to conceal our pain, to cover up our struggles, and to present a version of ourselves that looks untouched by hardship. But real strength doesn't come from appearing perfect. It comes from embracing every part of our journey. It's the smooth and the jagged, the triumphs and the setbacks. Just like a kintsugi bowl, we are made whole again, not by erasing the past, but by highlighting the resilience it took to overcome it. Rebuilding after a setback isn't easy. It takes time, it takes patience, and most of all, it takes a willingness to see value in what remains. You might be tempted to throw in the towel, to believe that the damage is beyond repair. but you are not beyond repair. You are not broken beyond hope. Every crack is an opportunity for transformation. It's a chance to turn pain into power and struggle into strength. So wear your scars with pride. Let them tell a story of survival, of growth, of undeniable resilience. You are not less because of what you've been through. You are more. You are more wise. You are more compassionate. You are more unshakable. The beauty of kintsugi is not in the gold that fills the cracks, but in the lesson that nothing and no one is ever truly beyond restoration. You are a masterpiece in the making. Let your golden seams shine. What separates the dreamers from the achievers? What makes one person rise to success while another falls short, even when their ambition is just as strong? The answer might surprise you. It comes down to something as simple, yet as powerful as writing down your goals. Google tells us that only 3% of people have written goals. Let that sink in, just 3%. Now consider this, roughly 2% of the population is considered truly successful. Coincidence? Not really. There's something remarkable about putting pen to paper, something that shifts our dreams from abstract thoughts into a tangible vision we can pursue. Think about it like this. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint. You wouldn't set sail without a map. So why do so many of us drift through life without clearly defining where we want to go? When you don't have goals, written goals, you're leaving your life to chance. But when you sit down, get specific, and put your dreams into words, you've taken the first step towards turning those dreams into reality. Listen to this because I'm about to blow your mind. In 1979, a study was conducted at Harvard Business School. The graduates were asked one question: do you have clear written goals for your future? Only 3% of the students answered yes. Fast forward 10 years. That 3% with written goals, they were earning 10 times more than the other 97% combined. Not because they were luckier, not because they were smarter, but because they had a clear vision of what they wanted and they wrote it down. Why does writing goals matter so much? Because clarity creates focus. When you write down a goal, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain. It says, this matters to me. This is where I'm going. You're giving your mind a target to aim for. And once you do that, it's like the world begins to align. Opportunities that you didn't notice suddenly appear. Ideas start to flow. Action becomes easier because you know exactly what you're working toward. But there's even more to it than that. Written goals hold you accountable. They're a promise to yourself, like a contract with your future. They push you to stay disciplined when distractions try to pull you off course. Let's take another real-world example. Actor Jim Carrey. Before he became one of Hollywood's most successful stars, Carrey was just another struggling comedian with a big dream. In 1985, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and dated it for 10 years in the future. He kept that check in his wallet as a daily reminder of what he was working toward. By 1995, he had earned exactly that amount for his role in Dumber and Dumber. Was it magic? No, it was clarity, belief, and relentless action toward a written vision. So my question is, what do you want? Really think about it. Not what someone else wants for you, not what feels safe or easy. What do you want deep down? Don't keep it in your head. Don't let it float away like a passing thought. Write it down, make it real, be specific, be bold, be honest with yourself about the life you want to create. Because the act of writing your goals isn't just about words on paper. It's about declaring to the world, and more importantly, to yourself, that you're ready to take control, that you're willing to do the work, that you refuse to settle. Success doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. So grab the pen, start writing, because your future is waiting. I'm going to tell you something that can change your life. Happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose. Too many people let their circumstances or results control their mood. If things are going well, they're happy. If life throws challenges their way, they fall apart. The truth is, you have more control over your happiness than you think. Life will never stop throwing curveballs. That's just the nature of it. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to feel happy, because that day may never come. Happiness isn't the result of perfect circumstances. It's the result of your mindset, your choices, and your attitude. How often have you told yourself, I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll be happy when life slows down. The problem is, when you tie your happiness to future events, you give away your power. You let your joy depend on things outside of your control. And when those things happen, the happiness doesn't last, because guess what? There's always another when waiting around the corner. It becomes an endless cycle. The good news is, you don't have to wait. You can choose to be happy right now, exactly as things are. It starts by realizing that happiness isn't out there somewhere, it's inside you. It's a decision you make, moment by moment. No, I'm not saying life will be easy or that choosing happiness means ignoring your challenges. Happiness isn't about avoiding problems. It's about finding joy even in the middle of them. It's about shifting your focus from what's going wrong to what's still good. Look around. There are always things to be grateful for, always moments to appreciate, no matter how small they seem. It could be the smile of a stranger, a beautiful sunset, the feeling of a fresh breeze. These are the moments that make life rich. If you keep waiting for the big, perfect moments to feel happy, you'll miss out on the beauty that's already in front of you. Your mind will try to pull you back to negativity, and that's normal. It's how the brain is wired. It's trained to scan for threats, to look for what's missing. But the great thing about the brain is it can be retrained. When you practice gratitude, positive thinking, and mindfulness, you slowly rewire your mind to focus on what's right. Happiness doesn't mean pretending everything's perfect. It's about saying, yes, life is tough, but I'm tougher. Yes, I've got challenges, but I can still choose joy. So wake up. Decide to have a good day, no matter what happens. Take control of your thoughts. When negative ones show up, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true, or is this just my mind trying to protect me? Find something to be grateful for every day, even if it's just one thing. Gratitude is the gateway to happiness. Just simply give yourself permission to be happy. Too often we think we need to earn happiness, that we have to achieve something before we deserve it. You don't need permission from anyone. You don't need a reason to be happy. You just need to decide. Now, the world will try to tell you otherwise. It will tell you that happiness depends on success, money, or status. But don't buy into that lie. Happiness isn't found in things. It's found in moments. And those moments are available to you right now. So what's it going to be? Are you going to wait for happiness to come to you? Or will you go out and create it yourself? The choice is yours, and it's a choice that you can make today. Decide to be happy now, not tomorrow, not when things get easier. I'm talking right now. Because happiness isn't just a feeling, it's a habit. And it starts with a decision only you can make. And once you make that decision, the world looks a little brighter. The weight feels a little lighter, and you realize you've had the power all along. Imagine for a moment that every day you wake up with a clean slate. What if instead of letting yesterday's worries weigh you down, you started fresh with a world of possibilities before you? What if instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you shifted your attention to what could go right? We know that most times when we face a challenge, our mind races through worst-case scenarios. But what if you use that energy to visualize your success instead? What if you believe that every step you take brings you closer to your dreams? What if you could see failure not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone? What if you saw setbacks as a learning experience or just one more way not to reach your destination? Failure is not permanent. It's just an obstacle to overcome. So what if you viewed your own setbacks with the same perspective? Each obstacle could be a chance to learn, grow, and improve. What if you stopped comparing yourself to others? It's easy to look at someone else's achievements and feel like you're falling short, but what if you recognize that your journey is unique? What if you embraced your own strengths and celebrated your progress, no matter how small? Remember, every great achievement started with a single step, and every person you admire started from where you are now. What if you believed in the power of your own thoughts? Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of positivity, you'll grow a beautiful life. But if you let weeds of doubt and negativity take root, they'll overshadow your potential. What if you made a habit of nurturing positive thoughts and affirming your worth? What if you chose to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't? What if you realized that you already have everything you need within you to succeed? It's easy to feel like you're missing something crucial, but what if you recognized your inner strength and resources? You have resilience, creativity, and determination. What if you've tapped into these qualities more often? Imagine what you could achieve if you truly believed in your own power. What if you embraced the idea that you're the author of your own story? Each day is a new page, and you have the power to write the next chapter. What if you stopped letting negative thoughts dictate your narrative? Instead, what if you took charge and wrote a story of courage, hope, and triumph? So today I challenge you to ask yourself, what if? Embrace the possibility that your life can be better than you imagine. Believe in your own strength and potential. You are the author of your story, and your future is full of possibilities. When you're buying, understand that the cost isn't exactly the cost. Let me explain. We assume the price out the door is the cost. There's more to it. So often we look at the upfront cost, or the quote-unquote price of acquisition as it's commonly known, as being the fee. We see it as the price tag. Maybe add in some taxes or a warranty, and there you go, we've arrived at our cost. Well, not so fast. That TV you bought has a cost. Do you recall where you bought it? How much was it? You might answer a few $100s or more, because in your mind, you're thinking out-of-pocket expense. But there's always a cost that we don't see. We don't even think about it because our brains don't exactly look for it. So no wonder it doesn't come to mind. That TV may have been a few $100s, but what's the true cost? I'm referring to the hours, that you'll be mindlessly watching that TV instead of allocating those hours to something much more productive. That TV is costing you time. Time that you could be using towards building a business, playing with your kids, exercising, or learning a new trade. If that TV is taking hours away from you starting a business, then I dare say it's actually costing you much more than the out-of-pocket expense. Watching TV a few hours a day adds up to thousands of hours a year, and then potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars of lost revenue in the business you didn't start. So think about the purchases you've made recently. Now that you've been made aware, what are they actually costing you? And costs just aren't on material items. This also applies to physical actions too. Let's look at exercising. You might see the costs as a monthly membership or the time and the physical exertion. But let's look at it another way. What's the cost of not exercising? How much is that going to cost you in the future? Not exercising potentially means more doctor's visits, a higher risk of sickness or ailments, maybe less energy to play with your kids now. We all know the benefits of exercising, but some see the cost as too high because they're looking at it wrong. I see the cost of not doing it as much higher, so I'll save by exercising now. The cost is not always the cost. There's two ways to look at it. First, what's the cost if I pay it? Or second, what's the cost if I don't pay it? Spend wisely, my friends.